Have you ever wondered what the secret to real, consistent high performance is? Well, what if I told you it wasn't born from some incredible victory, but from a really, really devastating failure? That's the story behind Lanny Basham's With Winning in Mind. It's a system for mastering the mental game, and it was written by someone who had to learn it the hard way.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 1972. We're at the Munich Olympics, and a guy named Lanny Bassham, who's on the U.S. rifle shooting team, is one of the absolute top contenders. I mean, this guy is technically brilliant, he's trained like crazy, and everyone expects him to take home the gold. The stage is perfectly set for a victory lap.
And this quote right here, it just gets to the heart of the entire thing. See, Bassham had completely mastered the physical side of his sport. He could do it in his sleep. But when the lights were on and the whole world was watching, something else completely took over. He had this sudden awful realization that all his technical skill was only half the battle. The other, and it turns out, more important part, was everything happening inside his own head.
So what was the result of that mental breakdown? It was just brutal. He went from being the gold medal favorite to finishing in 11th place. Not even close. It was his absolutely crushing disappointment, and he just knew it was because he couldn't perform under pressure. And that gap, right there, between potential and reality, is the exact problem this book was written to solve.
This is the question that just haunted him. I mean, it sent him on a decade-long obsession to figure it out. He started talking to other elite athletes, divers, gymnasts. He dove headfirst into sports psychology, and he used himself as a guinea pig. The answer that he finally pieced together, well, that became his mental management system, a step-by-step way to make sure you can bring your A game when the stakes are highest.
So how does this system actually work? Well, Basham's whole model is built on this really simple but honestly powerful idea. Inside your head, you've got this inner team of three minds that are running the show, and understanding how they work together, or more often how they fight each other, is the absolute key to being consistent. First up, you've got the subconscious mind. You can think of this as your personal powerhouse. It's the part of you that's soaked up thousands and thousands of hours of practice. It's what lets a great guitarist just rip a solo, or a basketball player sink a free throw without really thinking about it. It loves to be on autopilot, just executing skills flawlessly and automatically. This is where your real skill actually lives.
And then we have the conscious mind. This is the part of you that's doing the thinking, the analyzing, the goal setting. Now, it's totally essential for planning and learning, but under pressure, it can turn into this panicked backseat driver. It starts yelling directions, questioning everything, and judging your every move. And when it starts meddling with the automatic stuff your subconscious knows how to do, that's when everything starts to fall apart.
And finally, we get to the most important player on the team, the self-image. Think of this as your internal thermostat. It's your deep-down, gut-level belief about what kind of person you are and what you're capable of. It's the boss. It tells the other two minds what's possible, and it basically sets both the ceiling and the floor for what you can achieve. It's the rudder that steers the whole ship.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. Choking isn't some weird mystery. It's just your conscious mind getting in the way. That's it. Under pressure, it freaks out and starts analyzing the mechanics. Is my grip right? Am I breathing okay? What if I mess up? And by doing that, it completely short-circuits the smooth, automatic performance of your subconscious. The whole point of Basham's system is to stop this internal fight before it starts.
All right, so if that internal conflict is the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, the system starts at the very foundation. If your self-image is the thing that controls everything else, then step one to changing your performance is to change that fundamental belief about who you even are.
And this right here is the golden rule of the whole system. You will never, ever consistently perform in a way that is inconsistent with how you see yourself. It just won't happen. So, if deep down you see yourself as someone who gets nervous during presentations, guess what's going to happen? To change the result, you have to first build the self-image of someone who is calm and confident in those exact moments.
So how do you actually do that? Bassham gives us a very specific tool for this. It's called a directive affirmation. And look, this isn't just fluffy, wishful thinking. It's a very carefully built statement designed to literally reprogram your self-image. It has three simple rules. First, it has to be personal. You have to use the word I. Second, it has to be positive. State what you are, not what you aren't. And third, and this is the most important part, it has to be in the present tense, as if it's already a fact. So instead of saying, I hope I won't be nervous, you say, I am calm and focused under pressure. You state it like it's already true. Okay, so you're working on that long-term self-image stuff. That's great. But what about in the heat of the moment? What do you do right before the big event?
Well, the next part of the system is all about practical tools to manage your conscious mind right before and during a performance.
Let's talk about a pre-performance routine. Now, this is not a superstition or a lucky charm. It's a powerful psychological tool. It's just a simple, consistent series of actions that you do every single time before you perform, and its main job is to give your conscious mind something to do, to keep it occupied so it doesn't have time to spiral into what-if anxieties. It creates this familiar, safe bubble that signals to your subconscious, hey, it's go time, just like we always do in practice.
And what about when you do make a mistake? Because you will. It's so easy for one little error to snowball into a total disaster. Basham's solution is brilliant. It's called the 3-second routine. You give yourself exactly 3 seconds. In that time, you acknowledge the mistake, you consciously release the anger or frustration, and then you immediately, bam, redirect all of your focus to the very next thing you have to do. This simple little process stops that downward spiral in its tracks and keeps you in the game.
Now, it's easy to think, okay, Basham was a rifle shooter. What does this have to do with me? But the real power of this system is that it's universal. The mental principles that govern performance under pressure, they are the same no matter what you're doing.
So really, who is this for? Yeah, it's for the athlete getting ready for a big game, but it's also for the student about to walk into a final exam. It's for the executive who has to nail a huge presentation. It's for the musician or actor stepping out on stage. Honestly, it's for anyone whose success depends on being able to execute a skill when it really, truly matters.
And all of this brings us to what might be the most powerful and, frankly, empowering idea in the whole book. You know, we're usually taught that confidence is something you get after you succeed. Bassham flips that completely on its head. He argues that consistent success comes from confidence that you have deliberately built. It's a skill. It's a direct result of the mental practice you put in to shape your self-image, which means confidence isn't some magical feeling you have to wait around for. It's a skill you can practice and build just like any other.
When you boil it all down, this entire system is about one thing: the story you believe about yourself. So the final question really isn't about Lanny Bassham, it's about you. What story is your self-image telling you right now? And is that the story that's going to help you win?